Hi there guys, it's Joel here from Aussie Chart Trends. Today's market update is for Monday the 24th of September 2012. Today we're going to just take a brief look at the asx200, and before we do that though, I've just got to remind everyone that aussiecharttrends.com.au and this video are for educational purposes only. Nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as any form of investment advice. I'm not a licensed professional. You need to make your own decisions regarding your investments. I'm just here to help anyone searching for a practical direction in today's markets. Okay, so looking at the chart here, this is a long-term chart, a 6-year chart going back all the way to 2007. I've actually just drawn a new line on the chart today, and this line goes over the peak that we had there in May 15th of 2008, and I brought that over the top that we had there in April of 2011, and I've just extended that line out. Now, you can see that this line here should actually put up a bit of a fight, and I'll just zoom the chart in. As we can see here clearly in today's action that the asx200 broke out of this rising wedge pattern and we had a sell-off. Now our sell-off went very close down to our blue line going back to 2007. So we almost came down there for a back test on that line, and the market started to rally up a bit more as the day closes. And we can see here though that now the market has another area of resistance up here that is descending, and this blue line here is descending support going back all the way back to 2007. Okay, so let's take a look on the hourly chart and get a feel for what's going on. In the weekly review we were discussing that this pattern here appears to be a rising wedge pattern. Now, as you can see, we had a small head and shoulders topping formation. So what can we expect now that this wedge pattern has broken down? Well, there's a few things that we could be looking at. On the 10-minute chart here, we can see that the market's actually gapped down this morning, meaning that the market's opened up below where the market's closed last Friday. Now, we can see that today was a bit of a bloodbath. We were expecting that this would actually happen, because rising wedge patterns have bearish outcomes 85% of the time. I'd actually probably say 90% of the time. But after coming down, today we can see a little inverted head and shoulders pattern with your left shoulder over here, your head, and your right shoulder with your little handle. But this is not an inverted head and shoulders pattern unless we take out this line here by a substantial amount. Now, if we take this area out, come back down for a back test tomorrow, and if we're able to hold, I would say then that we would head on back up. And where would we head up to? Well, let's take a look again on the hourly chart. We may head on up to go and test this red line, or we may head on up to back test this broken rising wedge pattern. And that is a common thing that bearish wedge patterns usually do get a back test after breaking down. If we go back to the 10-minute chart though, there is something else that I'd like to point out. Because we're not over this potential neckline yet, it's hard to say that the markets will head on up tomorrow. So if I just delete this line here, and I also delete this line here, well, we could be looking at a rather small bear flag pattern. So in tomorrow's trade, if we get a break of this yellow line, expect a move back down. But if we can get back over this area here on this neckline, well, expect that the markets would move back up. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that I'm not confusing anyone with my analysis. But sometimes it can be a little bit hard to determine which way the markets will go, especially when the markets close right around a neckline area that could be a potential bullish thing or a potential bearish thing. So keep in mind this bottom line. If this breaks, expect a bearish outcome. If this top line breaks, expect a bullish outcome. Okay, so that's fairly much it. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel. And I'd like to say thanks very much for the people that have subscribed over the weekend. I really do appreciate it. It's good to know that I'm talking to a rather large crowd now. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, with another market update.